It's been 8 years since a coroner's inquest looked into the deaths of First Nation students in Thunder Bay. The Seven Youth Inquest resulted in 145 recommendations.
Today, current students were at the forefront of a meeting with politicians, leaders, and stakeholders, as well as families, to assess the progress made so far and the work that still needs to happen. Lee Noonan has more.
The Seven Youth Inquest investigated the deaths of Reggie Bushy, Curran Strang, Jordan Wabas, Kyle Morriseau, Robin Harper, Paul Panachis, and Jethro Anderson. They had all left their homes in remote First Nations to attend high school in Thunder Bay.
When you're a young teenager, you shouldn't have to leave your family. I shouldn't have had to leave my family.
Grade 12 student Robin Anishinaabe was one of the youth invited to speak at the annual Seven Youth Inquest Progress Report. At the age of 15, they moved from Deer Lake to attend Dennis Franklin Cromartie in the city. Anishinaabe says young students need to have their families nearby to make it through high school.
They can't come watch my volleyball games. They can't just give me a hug whenever I need it. So building high schools on reservations is I think it's something that needs to happen immediately.
Funding to build high schools in every NAN community was one of the 145 recommendations made by the inquest. Minister of Indigenous Services Patty Haidu says her department would support those projects.
Education is self-determined by each First Nation, and some First Nations are approaching it that way. They are looking at expanding their education offerings in their own community to include high school, to include students remote learning, for example.
Anishinaabe's classmate, Tessa Harper, has spent most of her life in the city. Her family moved from Sandy Lake when she was young. She says the city is gradually becoming a more welcoming place. Harper says students face significant barriers to good mental health and that creating an accepting environment and having good support staff around is one of the things the school is getting right.
There's a lot of people at the school who are here to support me mentally, physically, spiritually, literally anything, holistically.
Michael Tabolo, Ontario's Associate Minister of Mental Health, was one of many politicians in the room. He recognizes that keeping youth safe in the city requires proactive action.
But if we don't start early and help young people, and we heard that today here, issues of anxiety, depression, they affect all of us, whether you're Indigenous or non-Indigenous, but there are ways of treating and helping individuals and building resiliency.
Students hope the politicians here have really listened to what they've been saying and will take it back with them at every level of government. Lee Noonan, TBT News.